Police announced arrests in the unprovoked fatal shooting of a 15-year-old boy as investors detail the relentless research for an outstanding subject.
The Ford government unveils its design for a brand new science centre at Ontario Place. More on what this space will look like and when the project may be finished.
It's not easy to walk away, so I'm stepping away.
Oh, that's Toronto broadcasting icon signing off after 40 years on the air. More on today's announcement from Marilyn Denis and the reaction that's coming up. This is Live at 5.
Hello, I'm Arda Zakarian.
I'm Liz West. Welcome to Live at 5. A Canada-wide warrant has now been issued for a man wanted in connection with the fatal shooting of a 15-year-old boy in the Mount Dennis neighborhood. That was last spring. And CP24 crime analyst Steve Ryan, he joins us now live with more on that. Steve?
Yeah, some very good police work to get to this stage, guys. So what we know, according to police, is that on June the 7th, a 15-year-old boy was shot and killed as a result while he was in the area here of Weston Road and Jane Street. We're showing a picture of this child right now, just 15 years old. Now, police believe that he was the victim of an unprovoked random shooting. Police were relentless in their investigation, and today they announced that they have now got an accused, somebody who they've now charged with second-degree murder. They just haven't arrested him. Here's his picture right now. We'll speak about the importance of this photograph in a moment. They haven't arrested him because they can't find him. So there is a return radius on that arrest warrant, meaning, and it's Canada-wide, meaning that if and when, more when than if, he's located and arrested in another part of the country, the Crown has committed that the Toronto Police Homicide Squad will fly out to wherever he is detained, and they will return him to this jurisdiction to face this very serious charge. So the police are asking the public's assistance, have a look at this guy's picture. If you've seen him around, if you know him, if you know where he lives, works, hangs out, plays, give the police a call. You can remain anonymous, and they will follow up with every lead. He is arrestable, even if by the off chance he were to escape Canada and get to another country. There's no such thing as a worldwide warrant, but what happens is it's an extradition process. If he's arrested outside of this country as a result of this warrant held here by the Toronto Police, but again, that shows the Crown's commitment to having him return regardless of where in the world, as long as there's an extradition treaty with that country. The Crown has committed to having him return to this jurisdiction to face this very serious charge. Again, a 15-year-old boy shot and killed senselessly as a result of being the victim of an unprovoked random attack. We did hear from the officer in charge of the investigation earlier on today at Toronto Police Headquarters, and here is some of what he said.
This investigation has been relentless. Our homicide unit, supported by officers across the Toronto Police and 12 Division, have continued to pursue every lead. This work is not over. To Abdul Yaberi Baba, you know we're looking for you. You have a Canada-wide warrant for second-degree murder. Do the right thing, turn yourself in. Speak to a lawyer and arrange to surrender. Continuing to evade police will only make your situation worse.
So maybe we can pick up this picture of this 15-year-old boy again, and hopefully just looking at this image alone will give you the motivation to assist the police in identifying where this here. Well, this is the accused right now. So if you see him, certainly contact the police. If you know where he is, you can remain anonymous, and have a look at this picture on our webpage. We're going to have it up of the 15-year-old child. That in and of itself should be enough motivation for you to help the police in bringing this person, this man here that you're showing on your screen, back to this jurisdiction or before the courts. Only allegations, of course, but very serious allegations, and one that needs to be addressed, and the police are asking for the public's assistance. There's his picture again, 15 years old. That should be motivation enough for anybody who knows where this 20-year-old person is hiding out or living or working to give the cops a call. So back to you guys.
All right, thanks for that update. That's CP24's crime analyst, Steve Ryan.
Peel police are asking for the public's help searching for a man wanted for first-degree murder. Police releasing this image of 29-year-old Manpreet Singh. Singh is wanted in connection to a homicide investigation dating back to August. It's alleged 2 suspects entered a home near Castlemore and Humbercrest Parkway in Brampton, where they shot 2 people, killing one of them. Investigators believe that Singh may be armed. Anyone who thinks that they see Singh is urged not to approach him, but instead call 911 immediately.
Time now to check on the commute with CP24 traffic specialist Adjoa and Sayebwa. Adjoa?
Well, Liz, it has been quite the slow go out there on the major routes, and adding to the slowdowns, problems. We're dealing with issues into Mississauga this hour on the eastbound lanes of the 401. This is east of Mississauga Road via the collector lane. So what we're looking at is a collision. It's the 2 right lanes that are blocked. You do have a pair of lanes getting by. They're the 2 left, but it is quickly creating a backlog if you're headed that way. In the collectors from well before Mississauga Road, stick with those express lanes. And further east on the 401, this is just as you make your way past Dixie in the express. It's the right lane and shoulder that is blocked, following an ongoing stall. Westbound on the 401, another stalled truck. This is the westbound 401 Express. Just past Mississauga Road, you'll find that right lane and shoulder is occupied. And still looking at delays on the 427 in either direction as well. If your travels take you towards the Gardner, shades are a must. Sunshine blinding the drive as you head into and out of the downtown core.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Handing it over to Samantha TC this hour at the TTC Transit Control Center. Samantha, just checking in to see what's going on TTC. Anything impacting commuters?
Thanks so much, Adjoa. Good afternoon. So there are a few things going on our surface network you should be aware of before heading out this evening. So 26 DuPont buses in the West End are detouring around the intersection of DuPont and Symington because of emergency construction going on in that area. Now looking over in the east, our 72 PAPE buses are detouring northbound using Jones Avenue between PAPE Station and Dundas Street because of emergency water main repairs going on there. And now we do have an ongoing issue. As a reminder for customers who take the 510 Spadina streetcar service has been replaced from Spadina Station all the way down to Queens Quay, and this is while crews replace some underground cables along the Spadina Avenue area. Now, if you are traveling over to Union Station, you will need to transfer over to a streetcar to do so. We have ramped up service on the 509 Harbourfront streetcars traveling all the way to Union Station to accommodate those influx of passengers taking that route. Now, looking quickly underground, things are moving well on the subway network with no delays reported on lines 1, 2, and 4, and things are shaping up well for us this evening on lines 5 and 6 LRT. To stay up to date with the latest, make sure to check us out on ttc.ca. And with that, I'll send it back to you both in the newsroom.
Thank you for that, Samantha.
The public has until Sunday to submit feedback on a Ford government proposal that would give TTC special constables the power to arrest people using drugs on public transit. The province is considering changes to legislation that would give special constables new powers. The proposed regulation would be part of a law passed last year that was intended to prevent public drug use. Members of the public can submit feedback on the proposal until March the 1st. Some riders we spoke to today say they welcome the measure, while others are concerned that it doesn't address the core issue.
I think it's a good suggestion. I would support it. I've seen open drug use in the past on transit infrastructure, on the trains or beside them. And whenever I've called the police, they tend to have a slower response because they're busy. It may not be as prioritized as other things. So that would be good. I also have a young son, and he gets anxious when you see that kind of stuff in the vicinity. He's not exactly like, I want him to feel comfortable getting around the city.
And a statement from the TTC reads in part, TTC special constables are highly skilled and trained professionals who must deal with all manner of issues, including drug use. They will continue to keep customers and employees safe in all situations and will engage with police and specialized outreach workers as required.
5:09 right now. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24.
And the pothole problems keep on coming. The city seeing a spike in claims when it comes to damaged vehicles. We'll break down those numbers next.
Welcome back. The City of Toronto says it's seeing an increase in claims for damages due to potholes this year, as the number of potholes it has been able to fill has dropped. As of Monday, the city has received just under 1,200 pothole claims, a 47% increase from the same period last year. And at the same time, the city has filled about 35% fewer potholes, a drop of about 10,000 from last year. Mayor Olivia Chow said earlier this week that pothole crews have faced challenging weather conditions this winter. And if your vehicle is damaged by a pothole, you typically have 10 days to file a claim.
The province released new renderings today of the redeveloped Ontario Place, which will be home to the Science Centre. The government unveiled the final design of the project and announced a new contract to design and build the new Science Centre. It will be designed for various exhibits and immersive experiences and workshops, with modern areas offering new science experiences. It will also integrate the iconic Cinesphere. Premier Ford had more to say about the centre and the overall reimagined Ontario Place.
The new Ontario Place will be an iconic part of Toronto's waterfront, with one of the largest public parks in downtown Toronto. I'm going to repeat that, one of the largest public parks in downtown Toronto, featuring 50 acres of free public trails, green spaces, tons of trees. The mayor's going to like that one. Tons of trees, waterfront access, and family-friendly attractions, as well as Live Nation's revitalized year-round amphitheater. The place is gorgeous, the designs they have. They want to start in 28th. I'm trying to push them to 27. And of course, Therme, Canada Spa, and Water Park on the West Island.
The brand new Science Centre at Ontario Place will cost taxpayers just over $1 billion, which includes a 30-year maintenance plan for the facility.
We're hearing political reaction now in response to Ford's update on the massive project. CP24's Beatrice Vaisman is live with the very latest. What are people saying, Beatrice?
Well, Arda, Liz, the critics are saying a lot of what they have been saying for several years now, ever since 2023, when the Premier kind of signaled his intention to shutter the Ontario Science Centre down in Flemington Park and bring it down to the waterfront. And now with these new renderings, the Premier said he couldn't sleep last night. He couldn't wait to unveil these renderings. The critics, though, say essentially it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. They say that this is a solution to a problem that didn't exist, that the previous location up in Flemington Park is perfectly fine and suitable. And they say that that money would have been better spent on repairing the old location instead of pouring over $1 billion into reimagining, designing, building and maintaining the Science Centre on the grounds of Ontario Place. Though, as you mentioned, it does integrate those interactive pods that are essentially icons of Ontario Place. The critics, I mean, they've been loud ever since it shuttered back in 2024, when the government said it was closing the doors of the original Science Centre because of a roof and concerns the roof would collapse under inclement weather. Well, now after a couple of winters, some pretty intense ones, including record-breaking snowfall this winter, critics are saying, look, it didn't collapse. It could have been fixed. And so here's a bit of what we're hearing from the MPP from Don Valley East, Adil Shamji, and you'll hear from the co-chair of Save Our Science Centre as well, who's been incredibly vocal about the way the government has handled the relocation of the Science Centre.
He's interested in throwing dollars out the window at friends and donors and focusing on issues that are not a priority to Ontarians. There is a perfectly good, fit for purpose, ideally situated Science Centre at Don Mills and Eglinton, where it has been for decades and where it should remain for centuries.
The first thing that came to mind was that, okay, Doug's going to build a brand new Ontario Science Centre at Ontario Place. And so that was 2 years ago when things were closed. And now we have a minimum of 3 years, but talking to architects, that's probably going to be 4. That's 6 years without the interactive and immersive science experience that could still be happening today. Even with the new one under construction and design and all that, you close it when the new one is ready. Didn't have to deny access and the experience.
The NDP MPP for Fort York Spadina, Chris Glover, calls it a callous use of taxpayers. Where I'm standing right now, outside of the Harbourfront Centre, this is the temporary home of the Science Centre with these temporary exhibits until the new one opens, which we heard today could be completed as soon as 2029. Martin Liz.
Thank you so much for this, Beatrice. It's 5:16 minus 3. This is Live at 5.
And Marilyn Denis winding down her time at Chum. We'll have more on her decision to sign off and step away. That's next. It's the end of an era at Chum 104.5.
It's been a privilege, but I'm also going to step away this summer from this morning show and this station that I love. And I wanted to make that announcement because I can't hold a secret very well. So I had a lot of time to think about it, and I just want you to know, being in this Chum universe for 40 years has been so awesome. And I'm just wanted to tell everybody that this is my decision.
And you're feeling good. It's not.
I think she might have been a little emotional there. Marilyn Denis announcing this morning she's stepping away from the mic. This after 40 years hosting the station's popular morning show. She's set to wrap up her show this summer, and leading up to her final broadcast, the station will celebrate her career and legacy with lots of memories and some surprises. So here's more from her announcement.
The reason why I've had this job for a long time is had people behind the scenes caring about me and supporting me. And, you know, there's been rough times and good times and, you know, all sorts of world events and personal things like having a baby and, you know, getting a divorce and getting another divorce. But, you know, it's a lifetime of things. This is a fun show. This is a great station to work for. And this is a great gig. And I know a lot of people want this gig. I know they do. Do not call me.
Marilyn Denis spoke to CP24 Breakfast this morning about the connection she's had with her listeners.
One of the great things is we have great listeners at Chum, really great listeners. They'll tell you when you're off, don't agree with you, Dennis, or they're saying thank you so much, or yes, I want to play this contest. But when you're authentic to yourself, and we have to be careful about how much we give of ourselves on the radio. I know everybody does that on Instagram now. Is it authentic? I'm not sure. A lot of it's cosplay. But I will say that, you know, when I went through my divorce, when I lost my sister, you know, how are your kids doing post 9/11? You know, we had those conversations. It was not just about, you know, introducing a song or, you know, having a contest. That's what I loved about Chum. The conversation started opening up more and more, and it was relatable.
We had a chance to speak to her longtime fans and colleagues earlier today about the impact Marilyn Denis has had throughout their career.
My goodness, that lady is amazing. I love her spirit. She's so uplifting all the time, right?
Yeah. I guess what about her resonated with you? Why did you love listening to her?
I think the fact that she had such a good outlook on life and the way she presented herself, always so classy.
So many things. Like, you can just see her face right away. You can hear her on the radio with, I can't remember her guy that she's on the radio with for years and years. And just, I don't know, she seemed like a real cool person. And all the guest stars that she had on her show, like just talking to you now, it's coming in. That's sad, but good for her.
Seeing her in action was wild. She was very inspiring to me when I first started. Just sort of looking at her work ethic as a whole, that really motivated me to do better work for her and the show. And I really enjoyed just kind of seeing her in action every day. It was a really cool experience for me. I never thought I'd be in television, and so coming in and, you know, meeting her season 2, it was pretty surreal.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind was our first interaction. The first time I filled in for the other audience guy named Jay here on the Marilyn Denis show, I was nervous and I was edgy because I was in a new space on a new show, and it's Marilyn Denis, who's a legend. And within the first 90 seconds, she was like, "Get over here!" And she called me over. She called me, and I'm walking on camera, which is a big faux pas for an audience guy. And she came in and just put her arm right around me and just was like, "Isn't this guy the greatest?" And got the whole audience to applaud, which was my job. So she's doing my job to me, and then it was just like, he's the best. Got them to applaud and send me back, and it was nerve-wracking and also very comforting at the exact same time.
Yeah, she's so authentic, and I have to say I'm a big fan.
Mm-hmm. You know, someone once said I heard someone say this, that her voice is like velvet, and that's so true. Her voice and her personality it didn't matter. You're hearing her on the radio. You feel like she's right there with you.
Yeah, she will be missed.
Mm-hmm. So for more on Marilyn Denis's big announcement, you can always head to our website, CP24.com, or the CP24 app.
Canada's Paralympic team is heading to Italy today. Canada is sending 50 athletes, including 19 who are making their Paralympic debut, to Milano Cortina. They'll get a special send-off from Pearson Airport this afternoon. Canada will compete in each sport at the Games, including para-alpine skiing, para-ice hockey, para-snowboard, and wheelchair curling. The 2026 Paralympic Winter Games will run from March 6th to the 15th.
It's 5:23 and -3. This is Live at 5.
And still to come, anticipating the return of Mad Max. Plus, a letter of support from the pitcher's own daughter. We'll tell you that story next.
I love thinking about spring.
Me too.
Especially
Is it
when
spring yet?
We're almost there. It's getting, you could feel it. So with spring around the corner, it's time to start thinking about your next summer road trip. What a nice thing to think about. The Toronto Spring Camping and RV Show opened today at the International Centre on Airport Road. And organizers say people who will go will see the largest selection of RVs under one roof. There will be contests and giveaways, as well as educational seminars about RVing and live entertainment. The show runs until Sunday.
And spring also means baseball, right? And Max Scherzer appears to be making his return to the Blue Jays. Multiple reports saying the three-time Cy Young winner has agreed to a one-year, $3 million contract with the reigning AL champions. The 41-year-old can earn another $10 million in performance bonuses. Scherzer had a 5.19 ERA in 17 starts for the Jays last season and also made 3 starts in the postseason. Scherzer is expected to provide depth and insurance to a rotation that will include some combination of Dylan Cease, Kevin Guzman, Shane Bieber, Trey Savage, Cody Ponce, Jose Barrios, and Eric Lauer.
Meanwhile, Scherzer's wife posted this photo on Instagram of a letter of the couple's, one of the couple's daughters wrote to the Jays. The post reads, "Back in December, Brooke wrote this letter and put it in an envelope and asked us to mail it to the Blue Jays." The letter reads, "Dear Blue Jays, I am so sorry that you didn't win the World Series. I hope that you will win next time. I hope my dad is back on the team. My whole family loves spending time in Toronto with our dad. We love the aquarium, CN Tower, and of course the stadium. I am looking forward to coming back next season. Love, Max Scherzer's daughter." Super cute.
And I'm pretty sure there's something about I love CP24 in there too. We just skipped that by accident.
Yeah, and if she wants to come on and talk to us about this letter, we would love to have her for sure.
Absolutely.
It's 5:28 -3. This is Live at 5.
And we're following reaction tonight to the Ford government's plan for the Science Centre, which will be down at Ontario Place as the province unveils a design it's calling world class. Stay with us. Getting our first look at the future of the Science Centre, the Ford government giving us a look at what the new space will eventually look like at Ontario Place.
It's not easy to walk away, so I'm stepping away.
Marilyn Denis preparing to sign off at CHUM. We have more on her incredible career and how her longtime fans are reacting.
Canada's Paralympic athletes making their way to Milan with a celebratory send-off tonight at Pearson. This is Live at 5.
And I'm Arda Zakarian. Welcome to Live at 5. The province released new renderings today of the redeveloped Ontario Place, which will be home to the Ontario Science Centre. The government unveiled the final design of the project and announced a new contract to design and build the new Science Centre, and it will be designed for various exhibits and immersive experiences with workshops and modern areas offering new science experiences. It will also integrate the iconic Cinesphere. Premier Ford had more about the centre and the overall reimagined Ontario Place.
Once complete, the revitalized Ontario Place will attract up to 6 million visitors per year, 5,700 jobs and add $420 million to Ontario's GDP just during construction. So think of the millions and millions of hours that people are bringing home a paycheck and being able to pay rent or put a deposit down on a home or a mortgage, or maybe doing things you might otherwise not to do. This is creating massive amounts of employment. And once it's all done, and we're going to support over 2,000 full-time, part-time jobs during operations.
And while construction on the new Science Centre moves ahead, the interim location, I want to remind everyone, at Harbourfront Centre continues to operate, ensuring that visitors will still have access to high-quality educational programming just steps away from the Science Centre's future home. And I know the team, I spoke with the board yesterday, is already working on the fantastic programming that they will offer in that new permanent home.
The new Science Centre at Ontario Place will cost taxpayers just over $1 billion, which includes a 30-year maintenance plan for the facility.
Now we're hearing political reaction now in response to Ford's update on the massive project, and CP24's Beatrice Faisman is live with the latest. What are you hearing, Beatrice?
Well, Liz and Arda, the critics of the Ford government's decision to move the Ontario Science Centre from Flemington Park down to the waterfront simply say it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. In fact, the NDP MPP for this area, Chris Glover, called it a callous use of taxpayer money. In fact, the critics have not bought from the beginning the Ford government's decision to move it from Flemington down to the waterfront. And part of the reason why is they felt as though it was a better use of money to just renovate the old space which is already existing, instead of spending over $1 billion to bring it down to the waterfront. In fact, the critics have also talked about not buying the Ford government's excuse for why this actually happened. They essentially talked about a faulty roof, a roof at risk of collapsing in the midst of inclement weather. But now we've seen a couple of winters since its shuttering, including a record snowfall this winter, which did not see the roof collapse. And so the Premier was asked about it today from reporters. He said, well, I wouldn't put my kids in there. It's not safe. Again, saying that it's a much better use of space to have it along the iconic waterfront here in the city, a more centralized area where tourists can come down, spend some time at the Science Centre, go to the Dome, go to Scotiabank Arena, go to Ripley's Aquarium, all essentially within a short distance from one another. And while certainly the rendering has looked incredibly impressive, the critics are saying it was not a good enough reason to spend that much money when there wasn't, much of a reason or much of a problem with the existing space that could have been renovated. It's larger in space, though the Premier and his government saying the new space is going to have more exhibit space, more efficient use of space for people to come down and enjoy it. So here's a bit of reaction. You'll hear from NDP MPP Chris Glover, and you'll hear from the co-chair of Save Our Ontario Science Centre, Lloyd Ruskin, as well.
Anybody who's paying attention to the news knows what's going on there. There's $2.2 billion being wasted at Ontario Place. That's what's happening there. Ford is using our tax dollars to build an Austrian spa on our public parkland and giving them a 95-year lease, of our public parkland. It's just an insane project.
It's the Premier's shiny new waterfront, for one thing. It's I certainly hope it isn't dwarfed by the enormous parking garage and therm spa. So it's Doug likes glossy, shiny things, and doesn't appreciate. I don't really think that he appreciates what we have and what we've had to give up.
So initially, the Ford government announced that this new reimagined Ontario Place would open in 2028. We're already a year behind now, Liz and Arda. Now we're hearing as early as 2029, so some 3 years away. In the interim, the Harbourfront Centre, where I'm standing right now, is the home of this temporary exhibit for the Science Centre. As I think people are eagerly awaiting to see what the new version of it will look like. There's not many stories in politics that I've covered that generate such a visceral reaction like the Science Centre. A lot of people are really passionate about it and want to be able to visit it as soon as possible. Back to you.
Thanks so much for this, Beatrice. Let's check on the commute now with CP24's traffic specialist, Adjoa Nciewa. Adjoa, how are the roads?
Very, very slow going and a lot of problems sprinkled in the mix. This setting sun is a factor as well, blinding the drive, so make sure shades are available if you're making your way out. We'll start with issues been watching on the 401 westbound. This is just as you make around the approach to Mississauga Road. So what you're dealing with is the HOV lane, and it looks like they did manage to reopen the left lane. So just the HOV lane block, so a little bit of a delay as you navigate through. And then eastbound 401 also jammed from the 410 out to past Dixie in the collectors because of a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane as well as the right shoulder. Also dealing with problems, not the best camera, but eastbound on the QEW. This is just east of Huron, Ontario, right lane out with a stall. And I'm going to leave you with some good news. Finally, the Park Lawn on-ramp to the westbound Gardners reopened and the right lane of the highway reopened. This was following 2 broken water mains that happened on Monday this week. I'm going to send it over to Samantha TC now at the TTC Transit Control Center. Samantha, good afternoon. Checking in to see if there are any new issues on TTC.
Clear, Sam. Thanks so much, Adjoa. So we did just have an issue on our 506 Carlton streetcar route with a collision near our Main Street station that was blocking the streetcar tracks. But I am just hearing that that is clear. So full streetcar service has resumed on the 506 route. Now looking over at our bus routes, a couple of detours to be aware of before heading out. 26 DuPont buses in the west end are detouring around DuPont and Symington because of construction going on in that area. And over in the east, 72 PAPE buses are detouring northbound along Jones Avenue from Dundas all the way to the PAPE station because of emergency water main repairs going on there. Now, a quick note for those who take the 510 Spadina streetcars. Streetcar service has been suspended from Spadina Station all the way to Queens Quay because of some emergency cable replacement going on in the area. So shuttle buses are running along the Spadina corridor. And if you are traveling over to Union Station, you can transfer over to a 509 Harbourfront streetcar. Those are running frequently, and we have ramped up service over to Union Station to help with the extra passenger volumes. Now, a quick look underground. Things are moving well on the subway system and no delays reported on lines 5 and 6 LRT. To stay up to date with the latest, make sure to check us out on the ttc.ca website. And with that, I'll send it back to you both in the newsroom.
Thanks so much for this, Samantha.
A Canada-wide warrant has now been issued for a man wanted in connection with the fatal shooting of a 15-year-old boy in the Mount Dennis neighborhood last spring. CP24 crime analyst Steve Ryan joins us now live. Steve?
Yeah, guys, this investigation started on June the 7th. Police tell us that on that date, at this location near Jane Street and Weston Road, a 15-year-old boy was shot and died as a result of his injuries. Police believe that we're showing a picture of this child right now who sadly lost his life as a result of this unnecessary violence. Police believed at the time that this was an unprovoked and random attack. The homicide squad began a relentless investigation, and today they announced that they now have an accused. When you are formally charged, you go from being a suspect to an accused. So now they have a 20-year-old man whose picture we are going to show you in a moment. He is now an accused. Here's his picture. They are looking for him. So they have a charge before the court, charging this guy with second-degree murder. They just can't find him. So they have an arrest warrant for him. That arrest warrant is Canada-wide, which means that the return radius is coast to coast. So if he is arrested anywhere in this country on the strength of that warrant that has been taken out by the Toronto Police Homicide Squad, the Crown has committed to returning him to this jurisdiction. So if he's arrested on any part of this country, the officers will go out there, they'll pick him up, and they'll return him here to this jurisdiction, and that's where he will face this one count of second-degree murder. Now, we did hear from the officer in charge of this investigation earlier on today, and here's what he said. Let's listen.
To the public, if you know where he is, contact police immediately. Do not assist him in any way. Anyone with any information can contact me directly at 416-808-1200. If I'm not available, ask for me, and I will return your call. You can also call Crime Stoppers anonymously. Jahkai's family deserves accountability, and we're not finished.
So police, again, are asking for the public's assistance. If you know where this guy is or if you've seen him around, give the police a call. Here's his picture once again. Even anonymous information, third-hand information. The police will follow up on every lead. What's important is that they get this guy into custody so then he can face these allegations, which are very, very, very serious. Again, second-degree murder, 15-year-old boy lost his life as a result, and now the police are looking for this 20-year-old man. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, thanks for that important update, Steve.
Tense moments today at Frank Stronach's sexual assault trial during the cross-examination of one of the complainants. The woman, who is the sixth of 7 complainants, told the court yesterday that she became a social recluse after the alleged sexual assault in 1986. Today, the complainant often interrupted or spoke over the defense, the judge saying the woman's constant tangents and interruptions may reach a point where they affect the fairness of the trial. A confinement charge related to the complainant has been dropped. Stronach now faces 11 charges and has pleaded not guilty to all of them.
And charges have been withdrawn against an Ontario man accused of assaulting an alleged home intruder. Kawartha police say the man woke up in his Lindsay apartment in the middle of the night on August 18th to find an intruder. Jeremy David McDonald was charged with aggravated assault and assault with a weapon after he confronted Michael Kyle Breen, who allegedly carried a crossbow as he broke into the apartment. The Crown says while police had reasonable and probable grounds to arrest and charge McDonald at the time, it has reviewed additional evidence and requirements for self-defense.
Durham Police are hosting an event tonight to showcase a new pilot program. The service is launching a drone first responder program that aims to make emergency response faster, safer, and more informed. Remotely piloted drones will be deployed to certain emergency calls, often arriving within a minute. By providing early information, the drones can help first responders assess risks, plan effectively, and ensure the situation is resolved as safely as possible.
The idea is great. Definitely saves time, saves life, and it's modern. And go catch up with the technology and use it to the best for the community. Yeah, it's.
Do you have any issues about privacy or the drone surveillance, anything like that?
Not really.
I think it's kind of cool.
Why?
I think it'll help a lot of people. They'll get there quicker than most cops, I think.
Durham Police say the drones will not be used for general surveillance or monitoring. Tonight's community information session runs from 6:30 to 8 p.m. at the Durham Police Education and Training Center, which is in Whitby.
It's 5:44, -3, feeling more like -8 with the wind chill. This is Live at 5.
Coming up, investing in groundbreaking cancer prevention. More on the federal government's announcement today, right here on CP24. Coming up.
Canada is investing $41 million to create 19 new teams to study ways to prevent a range of cancers. Federal Health Minister Marjorie Michel made the announcement at Princess Margaret Cancer Centre this afternoon.
We have an international reputation for excellence in health research and productive collaboration. And today's announcement is a great example on how, by working together across countries and across disciplines, we can improve the health of Canadians. Cancer touches nearly every family in Canada. It is the leading cause of death in the country, and it is estimated to cost the healthcare system, patients, and families nearly $37.7 billion every year.
This is the biggest single investment in a gap in our research. We do an awful lot of examination of mechanisms, thank God. We do a lot of stuff on immune surveillance. But do we do enough on prevention, on screening, on early identification, on understanding the environmental consequences early on? Well, when we looked at all of our data, apparently the answer was what? No? It was no. That's what this represents. The only thing I would say is I wish there was more than 41 million.
The funding initiative will be led by 6 research funding initiatives, including the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, the Terry Fox Research Institute, the Canadian Cancer Society, and the Japan Agency for Medical Research and Development.
Toronto's condo market continues to face pressure, with some one-bedroom units downtown selling for less than $400,000. The resale supply has been increasing as investors who bought pre-construction are facing losses and looking to sell. Brittany Costa from Zoocasa says the prices may be dropping, which could lure buyers back.
We know the Bank of Canada interest rate is being held steady at 2.25%, and TREB is actually expecting 60 to 70,000 sales in 2026. Now, nearly half of those are being projected to be potential first-time home buyers. So this is really solidifying that need for those entry-level condo apartments. So we really believe that now is that time to look for those unicorn deals, those condos that you can focus on to negotiate a better price and terms.
The benchmark price of a typical home across Greater Toronto is down 27% from the peak that was reached in 2022.
And the town of Newmarket has been awarded Municipality of the Year by Festivals and Events Ontario. Now, this is the third time in 4 years that the town has earned the award, with noteworthy events including Tim Hortons Canada Day, Ice Lounge, Night Market, and Summerfest on Main. Newmarket was also recognized for its TD Music Series, a community event which draws thousands to the area. FEO is a nonprofit organization that represents festivals and events throughout the province. -3, feeling like -8. The time's 5:50. This is Live at 5.
She's been a beloved voice on Toronto airwaves for 4 decades. But now Marilyn Denis is preparing to put down the mic. We have more on how her fans are reacting coming up. Welcome back. It's the end of an era at Chum 104.5 with Marilyn Denis, announcing that she's stepping away from the mic after 40 years hosting the station's popular morning show. She's set to wrap up her show this summer.
I'm glad I've been able to share it with you guys, because this show's so much fun for me to do. It's not easy to walk away, so I'm stepping away, and it's stepping away from the morning show, stepping away from the radio show. For other things, but I just want to say it's so much part of my routine, and it's so much fun. When it's fun, it's hard to leave, but it is time.
Denis spoke to CP24 Breakfast this morning about what led to her decision to step away.
Benchmarks are really big, right? You look at benchmarks and, I'm thinking, okay, I was hired here in 1986. I've been in radio since 1976. So I thought, wait a minute, that's going to be 40 years at Chum. That's incredible, and I'm privileged. 50 years in the biz. And I thought, well, that's a really great place to stop. I'm having a great time on the morning show with David Corey and Simone, and I'm leaving on a high, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Now, we spoke to some of her longtime fans and colleagues earlier today about the impact that Marilyn has had throughout her career.
Love Marilyn. I absolutely love her from childhood. Radio, TV. I believe I was maybe in the audience twice. One of my best friends, Tora Bear, did a makeover Fridays. She had the best fun. I loved her.
She was a woman, she was doing her thing, and she did it for a very long time. So it's sad to see her go.
What do you say to her for her retirement?
Well, congratulations on having an amazing career, and wish you all the best.
What amazes me about her is the amount of weight that's on her shoulders, the amount of things she does in a day, and she never looks rattled, she never looks flummoxed, and she always looks like she's able to do everybody else's job, and you never feel like it's an imposition. She never oversteps, but she's always helpful. I have stood there in that corner in amazement, watching her keep a whole room together and still not let the weight of that wear her down.
And she's also very humble and gives a lot to other people. Mm-hmm. I will say that about her. And for more on Marilyn Denis's big announcement, just head to CP24.com or the CP24 app. It's 5:55, -3 outside. This is Live at 5.
More news straight ahead. Stay with us for that. Welcome back. Saturday Night Live is about to get heated.
By the way, the Russian accent was awesome.
Thanks. Yeah. I actually do all kinds of accents.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Did someone say all kinds of accents? Well, I reckon this here show ain't big enough for the both of us.
You recognize this actor? Heated rivalry star Connor Story is set to host the sketch show, and in the promo is getting heated up in an accent duel with cast member James Austin Johnson, famously playing off Story's believable take on the Russian language while playing protagonist Ilya.
Yeah, his accent's amazing. Now, fans of Heated Rivalry, the countdown is on officially for season 2. There's been no shortage of excitement around Heated Rivalry since the debut of the steamy hockey romance. The series is produced by CTV's Bell Media partner Crave, and it's attracted a major fan base all around the world. Season 2 expected to hit screens in April of 2027.
It's 5:59 and -3. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24.